All right, I think we'll get started. Are you excited? All right, we'll get started with episode 7 of Fuel the Fire podcast, the North Dakota Instructor Society's podcast that we've been putting on. I'm your host, Matt Berg. Thank you everybody for watching and tuning in. And it's been a minute. We took a little break. Probably we missed one that was should have been scheduled over fire school. I think would have been probably our last one that we should have had, but. Everybody was a little busy making their classes, and everybody at the NDFA and the Instructor Society was super busy getting ready for the vendor show and getting equipment up there. So, just want to say a big thank you and a big shout out to the NDFA and the Instructor Society for putting on a good fire school. The way they changed up the vendor show was awesome. I thought that had good views by everybody. I hope the vendors were happy. And it was a good long weekend. I know I was tired when I was coming back. So I thought it was a good success. Lots of people. I think did there get to be 800 people there?
I think there's over 800 people
Yep.
there. I haven't actually seen the final numbers on that.
Sure. Yep. So, but yeah, just wanted to hit that shout out for Fire School. It was another good success. Lots of classes, lots of instructors, lots of students learning a lot. So I know our classes were full each and every day, people working hard and putting the time in. So that was really cool to see again for another year. So thanks to everybody that made that happen. I thought that was awesome. So episode 7. We are joined by Lydia. Lydia is wearing many hats, as I was finding out when we were texting each other back and forth for today to make sure we had everything straight. It's good to have you on, Lydia. You've been in the background being our note taker and making sure our systems are working fine, but it's going to be great to hear from you and your background. So, why don't we kick it off? Let's do intro first. We'll talk a few things, and I've got a few questions to throw at you. Then at the end, I got a few Spitfire questions that will go. I thought that would be kind of a fun. I've seen that
Cool.
on other ones, so we'll steal that one. So see what your flavor of the fire service is. So why don't you hit us up with your intro? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what brought you to maybe the NDFA, the Instructor Society, Bismarck Rural, all the stuff that you do, and we'll keep rocking.
Yeah, sure. So I started in Marble Rock, Iowa, a little town. You blink, you miss it. Back in 2010, I was a volunteer. Did that for about 5 years. Moved to North Dakota with my husband. Got on Bismarck Rural part-time in 2015. Been on there since then. Was hired career there in 2019 and then kind of went from that. I also worked at the airport for a little bit for about 2 years full time prior to that.
Doing
Um,
doing the ARF stuff.
a little bit, did 2 years
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
Um, so did that. I got into instructing while I was at the airport fire department because had a lot of time to study and brush up on things there. But once I got that, Chris Rice decided he was going to snag me and send me out all over the state, and that's how I got more so into instructing. So I started instructing at fire school, doing the ventilation class, just because they needed help, safety, all that stuff there. While I was there, I noticed there's some classes that were missing, so then I started the firefighter down stuff and assisting where I could with that. But
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. That's how they get you. Somebody catches you and they suck you in.
yep.
I think we were talking at fire school. Was it 2011? Is that when the first year it went to Minot?
Sounds right. I'm not
I think
entirely
so.
sure.
That's when I started in Minot, and we froze somebody's truck up. It was the same weekend that it always is in February, and we froze a truck up at Minot's old training grounds, doing live fire or something up there. I don't quite remember, but we turned that fire truck into a solid ice block. It was one of the rural departments right around there. Um,
I feel like we do that every year. We do
Yeah,
live fire.
I
Yep.
feel like we're good. I feel like we're really good at that. Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. So Instructor Society, what is your title in the Instructor Society?
So official title, I'm the secretary treasurer. Um, Unofficial, I'm do whatever needs to be done.
Ever needs
So
to be done. Social
yep.
media machine.
Yep.
Was it weird making your own post for this one?
Yes.
Yeah. Did Eric get to pick the picture then? Or
He
did
did
you
get to
change
pick the
it?
picture.
Did he?
After I realized though there wasn't many on there for him to choose from, I had to send him a few.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at least, yeah, that's always good. If you were running around fire school, you got to see my picture plastered all over the place. I had forgotten I had given the okay for that until I got there and started getting pictures from everybody. And I think there's one above my locker at our fire station right now too. So I think one or two made it back. So if you're missing one or two, they're over here.
That's okay. We got a few here too, waiting
Yeah,
for you.
that's good. They'll never go away, I'm sure. Probably have the little devil horns and mustache on them eventually. NDFA, you're also a big part of the NDFA, right?
I am. So I started at the NDFA in 2023. Prior to that, I worked for the fire marshal for about a year.
Okay.
I started at the NDFA as a admin assistant, but quickly moved into a training assistant role. This last year, I officially got that title as a training assistant. But I was doing the same stuff I was doing prior to that.
Yeah.
But then
Yep.
same thing, whatever needs done, they tell me that needs it, and I go do it.
Yep, that is awesome. The NDFA is just such a wealth of training supplies and our testing services. I know we just got a whole load of iPads, tablets of some sort.
I
I think
did, yep.
Chris is probably chomping at the bit to maybe to get those sent out, or maybe those are his babies and he doesn't want to send them out. I don't know.
Oh, maybe not yet. We're looking at cases for them yet.
Oh, gotta get
They're going to be
cases.
so much nicer.
Yep, gotta get cases. Don't want any
Yep.
to break. So expect that in the future. They're updating their tablets. I know that was been a big hit on the list to get testing tablets out and updated. So that's gonna be really cool. All right, so back to the Instructor Society. You've been running around, you said. You did vent. I guess that's not really instructor society. Back to your instructing. You did
Okay.
ventilation, did firefighter down. Do you teach any other classes? Do you run around do any others?
I do. So I started in ventilation and live fire for the NDFA just because they didn't have anybody to do that stuff. So those are the two ones I started in. Now moving to now, it's a lot of classes that I'm writing my own and taking out. My favorite stuff though to do is the live fire with the basic skills and
Yeah.
basically whatever they want to do. Like to research it and do it.
Yeah.
But just as much as they learn, I learn from learning to teach them it.
That's the best part of being an instructor is seeing positives, seeing negatives, and being to run with that. I think you seen all the reps of all your people or all the students at fire school. Like I learned so much just at fire school, and you're trying to teach and you're learning from somebody. Somebody does it a little bit different way. We've talked about that on here before, that it's just so awesome to learn as you're instructing too.
Hmm.
Yep, you shouldn't, I mean, if you're done learning, you shouldn't be instructing anymore. So. That's a good part about being an instructor as well. Um, so back to the society now. That's been growing. I mean, you guys got the vendor show now. We've got really good members. We had them on the last podcast, so go back and look at episode 6 to meet the members. How did the scavenger hunt of the four go? I saw somebody did win the irons, right?
Yep, somebody from Fairmont.
Yep, something
Yep.
like that. Yep, yep, for sure. Got a question from Eric here. What's it like interacting with so many firefighters and departments? I bet you see it in the society now and in the NDFA. You're seeing so many different people, I'm sure.
Great. Well, kind of hard to explain because everybody's so different. And it's even just from our own state going from one side to the other, like how they think. And it's not just how they think about the fire services, what they think about you because of where you came from.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't know that I did come from a volunteer department, so I understand what they're going through. But just interacting with them and talking to them and their goals, it's cool to see how some of them are the same and then completely different at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's really cool to me to see that.
That's fun instructing those people too, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Once you get in front of them, you're like, all right, you're at this department. Where are they? What level are they at? You know, what do you need to bring to them? Some are way up, some are a little farther down, some are in between. So it is you hit it right on the head. Every department is so different on what they want to see, what they need, where they're at. So that is a pretty good perspective too, that I'm sure you deal with that all day long in both the NDFA and the Instructor Society as you're seeing the wealth of the North Dakota Fire Service, you know, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Um, so to the society now, where do you see it going in the future? Have you guys talked? You know, the board members talked. What do you see? Where do you see that going? You think we're gonna keep? I know we do lesson plans and things like that. You want to see that going?
I do. I see this as being more of a resource going through the future. Just because, well, when I started on here back in 2019, I've been on here for quite a bit, and there wasn't a whole lot going on. Just from, what is it, 6 years that makes it now?
Hmm.
We've grown so much just in that, and we've actually, from there, we fell because of COVID. We blame everything on COVID,
Yep.
and
Yep.
nobody knew
Started
who we
up and then it
were.
died.
Yep.
Yep.
I do see us now that we have the vendor show helping us go to where we want. We can bring in these instructors to where now, as the instructor society, I see us as being valuable to all instructors and training officers where they can come to us and say, hey, I need this. Okay, cool. This is what we're going to tell you to do. Go look here. We're going to get you an instructor to come help you do this so you can learn and then have that networking there for them. I see us bringing in, like I said, speakers for our conference. I see our conference growing. We doubled it this year or this last year. We went from 13 people to 26 people, I
Yep.
believe, this last time, which is doesn't seem like a lot, but that made me happy because put a lot of work into that and seeing people actually come and brave the weather to come see us. So we're
Yep.
getting out there and just so they know that we're here and willing to help.
That's really important. I think part of the society should be the mentoring, should be networking with other instructors. Like if that society could bring instructors together would be awesome. To be
Mm-hmm.
able to call somebody that they, you know, there's other instructors out there that have run into the problem. There's other instructors that have solved problems. There's other instructors that have overcome cultural things in their department, you know. So being a new instructor in your department, because that's what happens, you know, they vote, you know, somebody wants to be off, so they're voting somebody up that's a little gung-ho, and then those people they don't know what to do, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
having the instructor society to be able to reach out and be, hey, how do I teach 25 middle-aged men and women about ladders? You know, how do I get the burn building out here? How do I burn safely? Like, there's so many people around North Dakota that have done it already and will
Mm-hmm.
offer and are close to you, you know, and will offer those services to come help.
Great. And I
Yeah.
have yet to meet anybody on our board that won't give out their number or
Yep.
offer to, hey, I'll come out and do it for you. And I'll
Yep.
bring these people with me so you can meet them and have a little resource there for you.
Yep, yep, absolutely. You've got the members now in all four corners. So they are ready and willing to give anything that they want. That's what we talked about in episode 6, is they want this thing to take off and they want to make it better. So that is super cool. Oh, all right. Anything else?
I'm sure we could
Another,
talk all day on it.
another brain buster. What do you like about instructing? What has There's a little more about you. What makes you continue or lets you continue to keep instructing?
So what makes me keep wanting to instruct is when I go somewhere and they're actually engaged and want to learn. We're working with a really great department right now, and it was cool this last weekend. I looked out and everybody was smiling. They're having fun. The instructors were having fun, and there's a lot of conversation going on, but it all pertained to what we were doing, and they're laughing, but they weren't just jerking around. They were actually, it was good laughing because they're excited that they're going
Yep,
to do it. So that's what makes me want to keep doing it. It's like, okay, cool, we're going to keep working on this because they like it and they're going to get something out of it.
yep,
That's where I'm excited with it. That's what keeps me wanting to do it. And then when you find those departments who want to do that, I want to keep going back there too.
yeah,
And it's like, hey, I got this idea. Can I do it with your guys' department?
yep,
So that's kind of a lot of where like the classes I've written up. That's what I'll use those departments. Mandan Rural is one of them that hey, I got this. Can I come do it there? This other department, I'm going to probably do the same thing. Hey, I wrote this. Can we come do it?
yep.
And kind of go with that. So
That's
that's where I am excited with the instructing and keeps me wanting to come back.
there's nothing better than the plan that you work so hard on comes through, teaches people something, keeps them safer, gives them more ideas, stuff like that. I think there is nothing better than when that plan comes through and like you said, everybody's smiling, everybody's sweaty, everybody's happy, everybody's worked hard, and everybody's learned something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything better than that. So I feel you being an instructor. Um, when those things happen. We just did live burns last week. We did search live burns where we got sweaty, we got hot, we were using our thermal cameras. Like we did everything but pull a line. We were focused more on search. So everybody got a little toasty. They searched around the fire or they were dragging victims. Like everybody was happy after that one when we got smelly and smoky and sweaty and it was good weather finally too. That's huge. So everybody, when they all come together and they want to learn something and they want to put it all together, that is super fun for sure. All right. So you've done vent, you've done firefighter down. What is your favorite class to instruct?
I really enjoy doing live fire, the
Yeah.
8 hour live fire day. That's probably my favorite one.
Yep.
Um, because who doesn't like playing with fire, I guess. So
That's
that's why we're
right.
here.
Is it just bringing those students in for the first time they see the heat, or elaborate a little bit more?
It's
What?
I like the questions they bring.
Yep,
So like before they go in, they have all these questions like, what is it gonna be like? You're trying to explain it to what they're gonna see. But when you're I like the classroom part too, because you're explaining how it's going to work, what they're going to look for. And then those questions that come up, like, well, what if you're going down the stairs? What if we have somebody downstairs? We need to bring them up the stairs. And then you start going down those rabbit holes of how you're going to do it, kind of
yep,
thing.
yep,
But then once you actually have them out there doing whatever, it's starting to click and you see it clicking. They're like, oh, yeah, that's how it works. I saw that thermal change that you're talking about. I see the stair movement that you're talking about. That's where I like it, just because everybody wants to be a firefighter, and now we get to put fire in front of them to be a
yep,
firefighter, and now they're falling in love with it more. So
yep.
that's why I like the live fire stuff.
It's time to put everything. You've put your bunker gear on fast. You've learned about your air pack. You've learned about your bunker gear. You've talked about fire behavior. You've talked about heat, but now it's time to get in it. That is super cool too.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep. I think once those students get into that live fire, that keeps them hooked too. It may be hot, it may be steamy, but I think that is the hook. I mean, like I said, you've talked about it for, if you're doing an academy, you've talked about it for how long? And then the day they get to go in there, that is a good hook that keeps them coming back.
Mhm.
Yep, that's super awesome. Um, what is your favorite drill? If you were to go out and you didn't have a topic for the day, what would you choose?
I really like working on Mayday stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that makes
and
sense for
not
your
just so
firefighter
much
down class.
what's that?
That makes sense for your firefighter down class.
Right? And it's not so much the removing of the firefighter, it's what are you going to do to help yourself get out of this
Yeah.
problem? So that's what I like working on just because, and it might be because of my department, we run with two, possibly three on a good day. So if something happens, we have to decide how are we going to do this without manpower to help us.
Yeah. Yep. That's super important when with low people, like what are you going to do? Who's coming to help you?
Right. And
Yep.
so learn to help yourself almost so you
Yep.
can get out of that situation. Still call the Mayday,
Yep.
but what are you going to do?
Yep. That's cool too. And that's always great because that's talking radios. That's talking air packs. You're talking RIT packs. You're talking drags. You're talking all that kind of stuff. So that's super important topics to hit for sure.
Hmm.
Yep. Um, Back to the society. Um, let's talk a little bit about the lesson plans that you guys got on there. How many are we up to? Do you remember what topics they are or anything like that
Oh,
people could start using?
I don't remember how many I have on there, but we did get them. So when Nate Bennett was the president, he's the
Yep.
one who started it.
Hmm.
I was the one who got to edit them all, which is fine, which I got to learn a lot just from doing that.
Yeah.
Um, but I can look here. I think we have 15 of them
Okay.
on there. They're all basic skills like hose pulls, ladder throws. Um, there's a few other uh, I think there's some Mayday stuff on there too.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head all of them, but
Yeah, that's fine.
there's so many that you can
Is
go choose.
is there is there any interest in if anybody's watching this and has a lesson plan? Would you take it? Would you throw it on there, adapt it or anything like that? Is that something that you want to build
Yeah,
up in the future and make a little bit better?
absolutely. I mean, if anybody sends a lesson plan, if it's kind of duplicating one that I already have on
Yeah.
there, I
Yeah.
probably won't.
Yeah.
But if you guys send us one, I'll probably send it to the group and like, hey, what do you guys think of
Yep.
this? Just
Yep.
so it's not just me making that decision. But yeah, if anybody has lesson plans, bring them forward. But if you want to share them, especially, this is a great way to share what you got.
Yeah. Yep. If you have something that you think the state should have, other departments that are your size, I mean, we have a wide variety. I'm sure there's a lot of places that have 15 members. There are a lot of places that have 30 members. There's a lot of places that have 50, so you can adapt it for anything you want to. Eric says, "Where are these lesson plans located?" That's a good question.
They are located on our website, which you can access through our Facebook page.
Okay.
And it should be in the menu. Just click on our menu and it goes down to lesson plans and it brings you up to a link to pull. When you go to do it, it should just let you go in, but if not, it might ask you for your name and what department you're from, and then I'll
Sure.
just give you access to it. Trying to get it some others can give access to, but I haven't quite figured out Google that we don't pay for yet
Oh
to
yeah.
get
Yep.
that. So right
Yep.
now it's me going through, so if it takes time. I'm not
Yep.
ignoring you.
Yep. That'd be, yeah, something where somebody could load it in there, but you also want it vetted too to make sure
Hmm.
it's going to be good for the whole group, I'm sure too. So, yep. How about the quarterly newsletter? Can you talk a little bit about the Instructor Society quarterly newsletter?
So we are up to, I think it's number 12 now. So we've been doing it for the last 2.5 years. I think it was kind of Jason's idea. I don't
Okay.
remember right off the top of my head. It was another thing before the website trying to just get people connected.
Yeah.
Um, just kind of it's starting to grow a little bit more. We have now the department in there, trying to put some training ideas in there also. That
Hmm.
way you don't have to go look through all this stuff. You can have a training there. Try to put articles in there too from our members, from instructors, just trying to still get our name out there, and showcase instructors that they could call for help too.
Yep, I know I've done it, Rick's done it, Aaron's done it. I know a lot of people have added their, 2 cents for a short article. All the members write something, right? All your is it trustees, right? Everybody, um,
For the most part, they do. I
yep,
think
right.
almost everybody has now written
Yeah,
something,
yep,
but we're always looking if anybody wants to write an article, just write one and send it in and I'll
yep.
put it in there.
Nothing wrong with having a bank of them ready to go too, just in case somebody like me like waits till the last minute and then sends it to you when it's time to go.
That's okay. We got it.
So yeah, so lesson plans. If anybody out there wants to add any lesson plans to the Instructor Society's list of lesson plans, uh, get a hold of Lydia and the society. If anybody wants to write articles for that newsletter, you think you have something specific that the state should hear about, shoot that over too. Does that sound fair?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
That's cool. I know that the newsletter thing has been around forever, but I think it's great, get it out to as many emails as possible, get it out to the departments, and hopefully they, hopefully it, triggers something in their mind when they're doing a training or when they're about to do a training. I think that's a really good idea. So keep that up. Don't let that fall off. That's always great to have. Um, I wrote down networking. How important as an instructor do you think networking is? I love to talk, as you can tell. So I network all the time. How about you?
I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, the first few years that I worked at the fire department, they didn't think I spoke ever. So I'm getting better. The friends that I've created are making me talk more,
Yep.
hence tonight,
Yep. Yep. You were
which is
volunteering
good.
for the night.
But I'm always networking is great because like I from when I started as an instructor, I had nobody. I didn't know anybody. I was new around here. I've only been here for 4 years and
Mhm.
just getting into the fire service here. I was calling a lot of people back home, and I know we talk a lot of fire is fire, but man, do we fight fire different from back home than we do here too. And it's not a bad thing, but the stuff I'm asking them doesn't always apply to here
Right.
or isn't digested as well here.
Yep.
Um, but now the networking that I have met, I probably calling somebody different every day asking a question about firefighting.
Yep.
Um, and each one has their own little specialty that I'm asking about. So knowing your people and knowing who to contact to find that instructor that you may need is what's going to be the key to everything.
Yeah, for sure. There's somebody out there that has been to your classes, has you've taught or they've taught you. They know the answer, they have
Mhm.
the answer. So getting out of that comfort zone and networking is super important. I know I've gotten beat up before. You go out to fire school and you're with your normal department, and then you go talk to I always go talk to somebody else. Rick always taught me that. Jorgensen and Rick Graba always told them that too, is you get to talk to your department for all the other days of the year other than this weekend. Go and meet somebody from another department, see what they do, see what they got going on, see what their needs are, see what you can offer them. And that came from Graba. Rick passed that. Jorgensen passed it along to me, and I've stuck with that too. Is I don't they always get mad at me when I walk away from their table and go sit and talk to somebody else. But it's great. The phone numbers I have, the professionalism, the from volunteers to full-time people all across the state, all across the country. And even you now with your conference, like you're meeting people from around the country now.
Yeah. And I would never guess that I'd be doing that
Yeah.
ever.
Yep. Yep. Like just getting out there and talking to people is such a great opportunity, especially at fire school, especially at all these conferences. We've got Mandans, Dickinsons, Willistons, Devils Lakes, and Wahpetons. We've got the opportunity now to network, to meet people in our state, in our neighboring states that are doing things, want to do things better, want to do things harder, wanna be better for their department. So that networking, I don't think there's anything better than it. And I like to talk. So my wife hates that when we go somewhere and I know somebody. Everywhere we go, I know somebody.
That's Yeah. It's definitely something you learn to do. And I'm still learning to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about learning as an instructor. What are your thoughts on always learning as being that instructor?
Um, I do feel if you're not learning as an instructor, maybe you shouldn't be an instructor.
Yeah.
That's definite. If you're not researching your stuff that you're teaching and you're just kind of staying lax, teaching the same stuff, you might need to relook at some stuff there.
Mhm.
So like the Mayday class, I totally missed the whole Mayday survey stuff that's come out, and now I found it, and I don't know why it took me so long to find it.
Yep.
I've been diving into that for the last month and just all the stuff that I found and changing up my Mayday class that I do teach and adding it to the CPR stuff to incorporate everything. So that was one thing too. And then now the live fire stuff have been helping with the NDFA getting that updated and just all the stuff that's come out with that. It's amazing that we haven't been catching up with that either. So doing
Yep.
your part to make sure what you're teaching is what the new stuff is coming out and that it's credible is you need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that instructor can't just throw that lesson plan together the day before.
No,
There is firefighter rescue survey, there's the Mayday survey, there's Fire Engineering Magazine, Firehouse Magazine, UL and NIST. There is so many different sites that instructors need to be knowing about and looking at, before you're starting to run some of these trainings. Get your research done, know your statistics. Like you said, if you're talking statistics from the 2000s, so much has changed. With now the data they're getting back from those surveys and the data that NIST is doing and UL's doing, like there's so much stuff. The firehero.org, there's classes on there, and FSRI has classes on there. Instructors, you should be looking at those and taking those before you're teaching them.
right.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. Learning never stop learning. If you're done learning, you should probably be done teaching. How about mentoring? You got much on mentoring? I know we don't have a very great mentor program. Some hang out together, I think, and talk together, but is the Instructor Society, is that on anybody's radar to have instructor mentors or anything like that?
I know a couple years ago we tried to do it. And it's not that we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's finding people who are willing to put themselves out there to be mentors. Now, on that, picking people to be mentors, I feel is hard too because maybe your mentor is not the same as mine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know my mentors don't even know they're my mentors either. And
No,
I
sometimes
would
not.
never tell them that either because they would act different. And I don't want that to be
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah, right.
Um, so, but I would like to have a list of people who we might be on our website or
Mhm.
newsletter, whatever it would be, is like these people are willing to talk to if you reach out to them.
Yep.
I would like to have that list there and available to anybody because even like you, me, whoever could call anybody on that list and be like, hey, I have a problem or I have an instructor who is a little wants to get a little better. Would you be able to help them? Kind of making that connection for them,
Yep.
especially if they have the same interest in what they're teaching. But it's I didn't think that particular thing would be hard then until I tried to tackle it. And that
Yep.
was it's difficult.
Yep. There's people don't want to put themselves out there. They don't want to lead people down the wrong path and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I think the instructors that are running around the state all can handle it. I think there's a ton of good instructors in our group that teach for the NDFA and teach for their departments that will do a great job for sure. It's just
Mm-hmm.
to bite the bullet and get it done,
Yeah,
I
just
think, and
do it.
bring that networking of instructors all together. I think that'd be super cool.
Oh yeah.
Yep, for sure. Is there any dates for the next instructor society and the ones we're talking since we're talking about something like that? Do you have that down? Is it December again?
Oh,
Uh,
for the instructor
Instructor Society's
conference.
conference. Yeah.
I don't think we have any dates down. I
No.
know we had talked about kind of changing the dates so it's not in December because
Yeah.
it seems to always go be gross
Yep.
out.
Yep.
But I would say tentatively we'd say that and we'd let you know if it changes or not
Sure.
for the
Yep.
conference.
Yep.
So
That's a ways out for sure.
yes.
But just wanted to touch it before we got on anything else. So,
Hmm.
yep. Um, and just some other notes that I got, talking passion. Um, as an instructor, have you grabbed anybody else in your department or in kind of your department group that you have coaxed into being an instructor that you have brought up before?
A couple of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I coaxed him or not, but
Yeah.
Kale Woodhouse
Okay.
kept like nudging him, hey, just go do it, just go do it. And now look at him.
Yeah.
Is that his entanglement class? He's all over the place. He's more places than I am, that's
Yep.
for sure. And he's
Yep.
doing great things out there. There's a couple others they're still working on that, but they have the passion. They just don't have the time to do the work for it, the
Yep.
book work. But they're still out there spreading the poison, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
There
they're
you
still
go.
doing it.
The good word. I,
Hmm.
I think that's fun too, somebody that you've taught, somebody that's growing, somebody that's matured, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? You can be running this too, and get them the opportunity. They shadow a few things, they go out to a few places, and then they figure out it's not so bad.
Hmm.
Yep, I think that's really cool is when you as an instructor are able to bring more into the state. We've had a couple now room around um, the state for more instructors. It doesn't have to be the same 15 instructors. There's plenty of room for people to get out there and instruct. So I think it's really fun when you bring people in and are able
Hmm.
to see them.
We'll get them in there and not just instruct for their own department. It's
Yeah,
like because I think I can't remember how our numbers on everything, but we have a very large pool of instructors. We just don't have very many who go out throughout the state and instruct.
yep,
And they're missing out on the fun.
yep.
Like you need to go out. There's so much fun going out to these other departments.
It is. It's so cool to go out there and see what other people are doing. You'll hear their problems, and guess what? Their problems are the same problems you have.
Yep.
So it's just different name on the door.
Hmm.
All right. Anything more serious you want to talk about?
Is there anything serious you want to talk about?
I don't. I have some kind of fun questions if you want to go into some fun questions.
Sure, let's go for it.
Yep. Yep. All right. So just a fun, rapid question little segment. I think others have done this, so this isn't anything new. Um, Pick one that you want to defend, interior or exterior attack. Which one would you rather do?
Interior.
Yep. Smooth bore, fog nozzle. This is really
Smooth.
judgy.
Smooth.
Yep. Trucker engine.
Engine.
Okay, I like that too. Best firehouse meal you've ever had.
Um, well, I'm usually the cook, so
Ah, so they're all good.
um yeah, well I really like making like casseroles, so
Some
I
hot
do
dishes.
casseroles.
Maybe you're a little more Midwest than we are. They're hot dishes. Most overrated piece of equipment. What's that one piece of equipment you got on there that you're like, I don't even know why we have this?
Oh goodness. You
That's
know, we always carry the circular or the K12, and I would much rather have a chainsaw.
okay. All right.
So
Yep. Yep. One tool you'd take to every call if you could pick just one.
probably take the Halligan.
Take a Halligan all day.
All
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Does a lot of stuff.
Yep. You can do a lot on there.
hmm
All right. That ends our quick fun segment. I'm going to try to do that with everybody. I thought that was kind of fun. Had a couple questions brought up on there, so I think that's pretty cool. I see Eric. Eric's our leader in questions. I think we should give him an award out there. If a department has an acquired structure, how can they maximize the training of that building and how should they tackle it? Good technical question.
That is a good question. There is so much you can do on acquired structures, and everybody's first thought is to what? Burn it down. Let's not burn it down.
Yeah, right?
Um, so you can do a lot of basic skills using acquired structures, such as forcing doors, going through windows. You could do the window to door stuff on that. Learning from an actual house or building that you could potentially be responding on, why not go in there and basically destroy it
Yep.
and just learn from that? So moving hose through the house, seeing how you actually have to work those corners while you're doing those, getting somebody out of a window,
Mhm.
how hard that actually is working at, and why not actually practice on stairs that are probably going to be what in every house, the same size, especially when you go to these other communities. Like if you look where I live, all the stairs are probably going to be the same size. Now you go to where I used to live, those stairs are way different. They're steeper, they're smaller. So why not learn on the stuff that you're probably going to respond to? So maximizing your training using those, just think of things that could possibly happen, like getting somebody out of a basement. Go for it. You have a
Yep.
house, practice it. Um, if you want to start training on searching for pets under beds, there's usually beds left in these houses.
Mhm.
Look
Yep.
for that, or kids under beds, whatever. Use it using the surveys that's coming out, mimic them in those houses, and then go
Yep.
do it. So,
I agree. I think like take it step by step and then
hmm
destroy the house. Search in it, so it's still put together. Then pull hose through it. Then spray water through it. Then overhaul it. Then, start ripping out some walls, doing your window to door conversions with chainsaws, breaking out windows. Before that, maybe grab an NDFA smoke machine, or if you have a smoke machine, smoke it up so it's more realistic.
hmm
Don't burn it with a bunch of beds and a bunch of couches in there. That is that'll lead you down the wrong path. There's been many line
agree.
of duty deaths with something like that, so be very careful with burning it. But if the end goal is burning it, then, have a controlled fire, get some good fire behavior, then get out. Like take it step by step if you have an acquired structure. Every town has some sort of acquired structures in them that are ready to get bulldozed. What better way to get 6 weeks of training before it gets knocked down in your fire department than to take it step by step. I think that's a great idea.
Right. And especially like where I'm where I'm at, all the houses are built just about the same
Right.
here. And even like in these older towns too, they're about the same, and just
Yep.
getting your eyes in there and not and sometimes like the one we're working in and playing in right now, we did not expect it to look that way when we walked in. So
Right.
it's like and seemed like, oh, okay, this was not the living room or
Kind of kooky
whatever it might
carpenter.
be.
Yep. What kind of
So
kooky carpenter got a hold of it for sure?
mhm.
Not my normal interior designer.
Yes.
Yep. That's awesome. Yep, that's a good way to take those acquired structures. Yeah, a lot of times you're doing those landowners a favor and getting rid of it. Maybe they'll throw a little gas in your truck or something like that for you guys to take care of it, burn it, get her taken down cheaper. I know in small towns there's quite a few acquired structures everywhere you go. So that's a good, always a good option. No. All right. Any last thoughts? Anything else that you want to bring up before we kind of wrap up? I
No,
don't know. You've been to the point and you have been answered every question that I've gotten written down so far.
right. There's a lot of good stuff coming up this year too, so keep your eyes out for it, like the Prairie Fire Conference, which I told you we're an affiliate of Fire Nuggets
Yep.
for that, and that's coming here soon. We have two really good speakers coming
Yep.
for that. And then all
Dickinson's is
these
soon.
Dickinson's is coming too.
Yep.
This weekend is the Northeast
Yep.
training. They have
Yep.
live fire and all that there. April we have the Northwest stuff coming up. I think it's April 18th and 19th.
Yep.
There's some things going on there, but we need some more stuff in the fall though. So if anybody has
Yep.
any ideas, let's do it.
Yep, we kind of take the summer off. Everybody gets busy in the summer. Farming's going on, so there isn't a whole lot in the summer. But yeah, if your city's able to host something and get something lined up for the fall, you guys are in for that? Yep, that'd be cool. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up?
Unless anybody else has questions.
Yep. Anybody other than Eric? Eric's been our. We're gonna have to give him an award, give him a medal. No? All right. Well, everybody, look for us. We'll throw this up on YouTube. I'm sure there'll be a link on the social media to go back to the YouTube page and watch it if obviously you missed it. We had a pretty good group on here today, so appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll look for another one maybe in a month or two and get caught back up and we'll announce a host in a little bit. I think that sounds pretty good. So thanks everybody for taking part of episode 7. Look forward to episode number 8. Thanks, Lydia.
See ya.
All right, bye.